He pulls up awkwardly, I don't mean to laugh, as he's running down the sideline trying to call a timeout. So you can take a look at here's McVay on his status for week 3.
I did tear my plantar fascia, so.
Oh, no.
Yeah, well, that's a good thing, because now I guess it allows you to heal a little bit faster. But, I was being dramatic, limping around towards the end of the game. But, the MRI confirmed I did that. But good news is I'm not playing, so I'm just on the sidelines watching. So if I have a little cool limp to add some swag, then you'll know why.
We can watch it again.
Remember he was the young coach? You remember that? Where he was like the boy genius coach? Now he's the old man who's getting hurt walking.
You can literally hear his brain going, did I just hurt myself coming down the sideline? He's so cool.
I don't know why I find it funny. There's nothing funny about a person getting hurt.
No, it's not.
That could so easily happen to me, and yet I find it funny. Okay, on we go. We hope McVay recovers quickly, which leads us to a new feature called Hope or Nope. I'll ask a question, and we'll get an answer from Kmart. The 0-2 Jets. Hope or Nope?
Randy, you already know what I'm going to say. Hope. Now, granted, I was in the building for that, and that performance was not good. But the conversations that I've been having with people, like these Jets, they said in week 1 kind of reminded them of the Bills when they first started. They have the continuity. They have to build it from the ground up. If you thought that this Jets team with Aaron Glenn was just going to take off in year 1, you haven't been paying attention. They do need time. I think things will get better. It's just Jets fans like yourself are sick of waiting.
People keep asking me what I thought of it. I will say this. If the Jets had arrived for that game in one team bus and that team bus had gotten lost and not ever made it to the stadium, the game would have been exactly as competitive as this game was. They didn't compete at all. They were never in the game. They played. They continue to commit stupid penalties. They give away opportunities like crazy. The offense that looked creative and interesting week 2 looked absolutely lifeless. They came out flat in a huge home win, a huge home game against a division opponent. That game was alarming. It was much worse than just being a small step back.
But like I told you on Countdown, the Bills came in there. Their objective was, this is a gritty team. We have to give them no hope. We have to start fast, and that's what the Bills did.
Well, they did that. No question about that. All right, let's move on. Neat. 0-2 Texans. Hope or no?
I absolutely hope for that team. I understand that the offensive line is not going to be fixed anytime soon, but the way that Nico Collins was playing in that game gives me some hope. But it's really about the defense for this team. That defense is incredibly ferocious. They're going to keep them in games. They're going to win a number of games because of it. The only issues that they had in that game on Monday night were with making tackles and penalties. I think they're going to consistently make tackles, and I think they're going to reduce the penalties. I think this team has hope in that division.
Peter.
The defense is incredible. If you watched week 1 against the Rams, they absolutely muzzled that offensive unit too. The issue might be the offensive line. I also say the run game. Joe Mixon, obviously, it's a couple of years. It hasn't been there this year, and now you've got Chubb that you're trying to get back going. The rushing game has been absolutely invisible, and that makes you wonder about C.J. Stroud now in year 3. Can he get them to rise above? I agree there's hope. The defense is the reason why. The offense, I do have concerns.
They've lost close games against 2 really good teams to start the season. Lewis,
Yep.
We're going to do the Bears here. Let me get right to the sound, because we'll talk about the Bears here. They're 0-2, but in the interest of time, I want to get right to the sound from Ben Johnson, their head coach, because all the talk is about the quarterback, Caleb Williams. Ben Johnson says he has seen growth. Cindy, let's hear from the coach.
I did see significant growth. It's not perfect yet. There's still a number of plays where our eyes aren't quite in the right position, or we're holding on to the ball just a tick longer than what we're coaching. I did think he got better from week 1 to week 2. I'm encouraged by what I saw, and I'm hopeful that we'll continue to see another leap here this week.
All right, so there's so much conversating to be done around Caleb Williams. But Dominique asked an excellent question in our meeting this morning, and I will ask it to the 2 of you guys who played and watch it. If we had not seen Caleb Williams last year, if this was his first year, if everything we knew about him as an NFL player were just the 2 weeks we've seen so far, what would we be saying about him?
Oh, you'd be saying he's an uber-talented quarterback who has very unique traits as far as throwing the football, who can layer balls over the second level, who can run outside, who can create outside the pocket. He's got a cannon of an arm. Now, the one thing that we can't say, because we're not there all the time, is like, how much processing power does he have? How much control does he have to the line of scrimmage? How much ability does he have to make adjustments post-snap? I mean, we can't say that. And that's, I think, those are some of the things that Ben Johnson's going to want to see improvement on. But I'll tell you this, if this was his rookie year, I'd be going, we've got something to work with here. The problem is, it's not.
Right.
And he went in the same draft as Jaden Daniels.
Right.
That's the problem. And that's why now we color every single thing about this young man against what happened a year ago.
Yeah, there's a lot of stories around him. There's a lot of information out there that I think colors the way that we feel about it. We just look at the film from the first 2 weeks. I would say, oh, this kid's a rookie. And he shows the talent, the amazing talent to do the ridiculous things, but he can get some of these things together. His accuracy issues are the things on the field that jump out to me. We haven't seen too many quarterbacks improve with their accuracy. And his accuracy was so bad in the first game and in this last game. The interception he threw was a result of the accuracy. But I think if this were just those 2 games, I would be more optimistic than I am now, given that we have a lot more information.
This offense is so complex. I almost watch him and think it's like paralysis by overanalysis every play. It's like you see it and it's just. I also think that there is a long season to be played, and this is just the second week. And he's played against 2 awesome teams. A team that was on fire with the Lions, obviously in week 2, and then week 1 with the Vikings, who won 14 games. We'll say this, getting to know Caleb a little bit, I don't think he listens to the noise. I think he's one of these free spirits that's in his own little world where it's never negative or positive. He's not one that's going to start saying, oh gosh, the Chicago media pressure is getting to me. He is on his own path, and he's got to be the one that rises above here. But I do believe there is certainly hope, and there have been some great signs because he has thrown some incredible passes through 2 weeks.
I think if you expected this team, this quarterback, to look amazing from jump, I think your expectations were a little high. I thought they'd be 0-3 because of the competition they're playing, and also this is a new offense with a young kid. He's got to unlearn everything that he had been taught to this point. It is a long season. It's not about getting to the playoffs, right? It's about in December. Does he look better? Does the offense look better? Does he have a better command of this Ben Johnson offense? It's not about trying to beat out the Lions just yet.
You know, all the things that we just saw in that rip of plays of him like misfiring, especially the clean pocket misfires, that isn't really representative of how he played the entire football game. He had some spectacular throws in that game that were not just physical, but they were also showing a high degree of football intellect. I think the kid has a lot of, we got to be patient with this. Again, last year colors everything. That's what happens. Give him some time.
Patience over panic.
Yeah.
The question is, do we have that feeling in Kansas City, too? Did she have some baseball? How about some football? How about some teams off to surprising 2-0 starts? Kimberly Martin, which team has you surprised early this season?
Greeny, for the first time in forever, the Bengals are 2-0, and they don't have their quarterback. What is happening? We're only in week 3, no Joe Burrow. I don't know what Bengals fans can do. It's early in the season, yes. Browning, he can be a serviceable backup. Can this team kind of survive 3 more months without Joe Burrow? We'll see, but this is just devastating.
Lewis, there are people who will think that their season is done. The Bengals are done. Any hope you had of there being a legitimate deep playoff run contender are now over. Are you one of those people?
Yeah, probably so. Only because, look, as much as Jake Browning is someone who came into this football game last week and actually had some real key 4th down conversions late in that football game, and looks like someone who is built for that kind of moment, but not a sustained moment. That's what this is about. Can they sustain this over the course of 17 games? And I'm afraid that they're not going to be able to without Joe being there.
Devastating loss. Almost no team. Actually, let me reframe that. No team could overcome losing their quarterback for the entire season if they're that quarterback dependent. Peter, how about another 2-0 team that has you surprised?
Look, in the NFC, you've got some big heavyweights in the Packers and the Eagles and the Rams and the Buccaneers. How about the 49ers, 2-0, quietly, and doing so with defense and big stops when needed, both against the Seahawks on the road and against the Saints in their building. They found a way to get the big stop when it was needed. Schedule is favorable. Saleh's fired up. The Niners are 2-0.
And Nick, they're doing it with a variety of injuries, but unlike the Burrow one, these guys are coming back, right? Ultimately, Kittle is coming back. Purdy will be coming back. So they're doing it without some of their best players who will return.
And I think the conversation, as Peter alluded to, for them this season is a lot about them having an easy schedule. But all teams are going to have to find a way to win some of those close games that go either way. They got a couple of those wins in the first couple of weeks. Those games could have easily gone the other direction. So when they get their players back and they hit their stride at the right time, this could be a team that a lot of people liked before the season. That turns out to be
going back to during the offseason, ESPN bet so high on the 49ers. Maybe they had this thing right. Lewis, give me another 2-0 team that has you surprised.
Yeah, it's got to be the Indianapolis Colts. Look, you have to be surprised at what Daniel Jones is doing. When you're talking about this offense being the 4th best scoring offense, his QBR, his total QBR being top 10.